The Davis Mountains rise up out of the desert like a hidden oasis. Driving west through the Trans-Pecos, you feel the dry heat of the Chihuahuan Desert, but as you climb in elevation, the air cools, clouds gather, and the land changes. Suddenly, you're in the high country. At 5,000 to nearly 6,000 feet, and it feels like a completely different Texas. For us, arriving here in mid-August felt like stepping into another world. Back in San Antonio, a 5.5-hour drive away, the summer heat was hitting hard. But here, mornings dropped into the 60s, and one morning we even woke in our tents, shivering, digging for our blankets. No matter the time of year, it's worth bringing a jacket for the fluctuations in PM to early AM temperatures. It rained one morning too, a welcome sound on our tent. By late morning, the sun had mostly broken through, filling the canyons with light. We set up camp at one of the car camping sites, which had water, shade, and on our visit, plenty of open space. Even in summer, the campground was far less than half full, although the trailer sites with electricity hookups seemed a bit busier. It was peaceful, well cared for, and a perfect spot to settle in with our boys. For families, it's a comfortable way to camp, and there's plenty of space to spread out. At least there was during our stay. The Davis Mountains are often compared to a smaller Big Bend, but honestly, that doesn't do them justice. These mountains stand on their own. They're rugged, lush, and alive, a true West Texas gem. Because of the higher elevation and the creeks that flow down from these mountains, you'll find plants and wildlife here that you wouldn't expect in the desert. Water means life, and in the Davis Mountains, it shows. I saw a surprising diversity of Texas native plants: pinyon pine, agarita, esperanza, Texas thistle, silverleaf nightshade, and many more. Perhaps due to a rainier spring and summer, in mid-August these wildflowers were everywhere, buzzing with bees and covered in butterflies. We saw roadrunners darting through the brush, even a rattlesnake, although it wasn't alive. It's a reminder that out here where the desert and the mountains meet, life can flourish in surprising ways. One of the trails we tackled with our boys was the Montezuma Quail Trail. At less than a mile, it's short for adults, but with rocky steps and 220 feet of elevation gain, it was a real challenge for little legs. They, of course, didn't hike the whole way. The payoff, though, stunning views back across the canyons and ridges. And yes, it's named after one of the park's most unique birds, the Montezuma quail, found in only a handful of places in Texas. We weren't lucky enough to spot one in person, though. The Montezuma Quail Trail connects to both the Indian Lodge Trail and the campground, so you can make it part of a longer loop if you want. And then there's one of the park's marquee experiences, the Skyline Drive. You can hike it. It's about 2.6 miles one way, climbing up to the overlook and passing the Civilian Conservation Corps stonework. But with our young kids, we decided to take the car. Driving bit by bit, stopping at the pullouts, and walking around the overlooks gave us some of the best views of the trip. At sunset, the desert will glow, and once night falls, you've got some of the darkest skies in Texas. But you'll notice that whether you're at the peak of the trail or your campground. For older kids and adults, hiking Skyline Drive would be worth it, although certainly avoid hiking at night. For us, just driving and exploring was plenty. Beyond that, the park has hikes for every level. There's Headquarters Trail, just a third of a mile, easy, ending at the Emery Oak Wildlife Viewing Area. Then there's the Sheep Pen Canyon Loop, a big one, 5.5 miles, across high desert grasslands and oak juniper forest. With our boys, we kept things simple, a couple of short hikes and plenty of time at camp. But if you're coming with older kids or adults, again, there's plenty here to fill a whole weekend of hiking. Another easy stop is the Emery Oak Wildlife Viewing Area, right near the park entrance. It was just a short walk from our campground, and in the morning, you could catch plenty of birds moving around. Even if you don't consider yourself a birder, it's a peaceful place to sit with a cup of coffee and take in the quiet and check out some of the signage to identify which birds you might look out for. The Indian Lodge, along with the roads and trails here, were built in the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps. These were young men, many just teenagers, put to work during the Great Depression. With hand tools, they carved roads in the mountains, stacked stone walls, and raised the Pueblo-style Indian lodge. Nearly a century later, you can still see their craftsmanship everywhere. The stone picnic tables, the lookout shelters, the winding skyline drive itself, they've lasted generations. Staying at the Indian Lodge has become a tradition for many Texas families. We tried to book a night ourselves, but by the time we looked, it was already full. So if you're thinking about it, plan ahead. The 39 rooms will book up fast. Inside, there's the Black Bear restaurant, and if you got a Texas State Parks pass, which we do, we were told you get a discount on dining. For us, we packed food in from San Antonio and cooked at camp. We know we'll be back for a lodge trip another time. Around the campground, it's not unusual to see mule deer browsing, which we did, or maybe a group of javelina moving through, although we weren't lucky enough. Birders especially love this park. It's one of the few places in Texas where you might spot the countless migrating species passing through the sky islands of the Davis Mountains of West Texas. And apparently mountain lions do roam these mountains, though catching a glimpse would be rare, and depending on how you look at it, that might either be very lucky or not so much. We only experienced the park in late summer, of course, but everything I read said that each season brings its own rewards. Wildflowers in spring, crisp skies in fall, and quiet but cold nights in the winter. For us, it was the combination of it all. The cool mountain mornings, the wildflowers alive with pollinators, and the chance to camp beneath the stars with our boys. The Davis Mountains felt both wild and welcoming, and we left already talking about when we'd be back. And one of the best parts of a trip here is that you're not limited to just the park itself. Just about 35 minutes away is Marai State Park, home to the world's largest spring-fed swimming pool. After camping and hiking, we drove down out of the mountains for a day trip. That first plunge into the cold, clear desert spring water was unforgettable, and our boys absolutely loved it. It's a one-of-a-kind Texas experience and the perfect way to balance the mountain trails with a refreshing swim. I have a full video on Marai State Park and our time there, so if you're planning a West Texas trip, I highly recommend watching that one next. The Davis Mountains aren't just another stop in West Texas. They're a landscape that surprises you, restores you, honestly, and stays with you long after you've left. Whether you're hiking the ridges, staying at the historic lodge, or just watching the light change across the canyons, this park is one of Texas's true natural treasures. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video I put together on the Davis Mountains State Park. If you did, you might want to consider signing up for my Texas Field Notes. That's my newsletter where I share other explorations, Texas state parks, Texas native plants, things to help make Texas a little bit wilder and wiser at the same time. You can sign up for that at coryames.com or look for the link in the description below. And as a little bonus, I'll make sure you get our full itinerary here with some additional tips about planning a trip to the Davis Mountains if you decide to do so or you're thinking about it. So again, that's linked in the description below or at coryames.com. And lastly, if you like this video, then you might like the one that I put together on Marai State Park, just 30 or so minutes away from here. Beautiful 25-acre site, wonderful pool that my family really enjoyed swimming in and spending a good portion of the day at. So check that out. Likewise, that might be linked up somewhere here or down in the description below. All right, y'all.